High on my travel bucket list, I finally got to stay at the beautiful Our Habitas AlUla Hotel in Saudi Arabia. With nightly rates starting at $1,500 depending on the season, this luxury hotel is up there in terms of price. In this video, I'll take you through my experience on the property, from how I got there from the airport, the moment I checked in, the activities, and answer the question of whether or not it's worth the price. Before we dive in, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more of my travel experiences and honest reviews. So starting with getting to AlUla. I am currently based in Doha, Qatar, which means that my flight to AlUla was actually fairly short. I flew with Qatar Airways, and Qatar Airways has a direct flight to AlUla from Doha, which is only 2 hours long. This flight was amazing and probably one of my favorite flights this year because it was literally empty. There had to be about like 15 people on that flight, if even that, so the plane was very empty. I had the row to myself, and it was a very comfortable, smooth, and easy flight. Which brings me next to the airport. The airport you'll be flying to when traveling to AlUla is the AlUla International Airport, and the airport code is ULH. Now, this is the second smallest airport I've ever been to. As soon as we landed at the airport, we were transported to a bus that literally drove 1 minute to the entrance of the airport, and then we waited in line. And from this line, you guys, you can see the baggage claim on the other side and then the exit. So when I say it's small, it's super small. And there are 6 immigration booths, which really is kind of impressive because I feel like they could get away with kind of only doing like 2 or 3 by justifying the size of the airport, but it's really nice that they have 6 because that meant that everyone got through immigration fairly quickly. I already had a Saudi visa because of my trip earlier this year to Saudi, so for me it was very quick, but you have to see if you need a visa before entering or if you're eligible for visa on arrival. Like I said, the airport is super small, so I would not expect much, but once you get there, you'll see a Dunkin' Donuts booth. There's an ATM machine, a currency machine, a visitors information center, and an area where you can rent a car from 2 rental companies, Budget and Lumi. So when it comes to getting to Our Habitas, it is about an hour away from the airport, so you can either rent a car, take a taxi, or kind of decide what's the best transportation method for you. However, we decided to rent a car, and I would recommend that you rent a car, and I'll tell you why. So the most important booth or area in the airport, in my opinion, will be the car rental ones. There's 2 rental car companies, Budget and Lumi. We decided to rent a car. I traveled to Our Habitas with my friend. We rented a car for 2 days with Lumi. As far as whether or not there's a difference between the 2 companies, from what I saw when I was talking to the representatives, both are about the same rates and prices. It was just that Lumi had their prices laid out very nicely on a rate card, and it was really easy to follow. There was someone in the budget line, so we just decided to go with Lumi. My friend did the car rental under her name, and all she needed was her passport, the driver's license of the country she was in, and we're living in Qatar right now, so she used her Qatari driver's license, and she set a deposit of 2,000 SAR. We ended up getting a Hyundai Creta for about 463 Saudi Riyal, which comes out to around $124 for 2 days, and it includes insurance. I will say that if you're going back and forth in between whether or not you should rent a car when you're in AlUla, I'll just say that going from the airport to Our Habitas alone is like $50, and that is just that one trip. And we paid about $124 for a 2-day car rental. So it does make sense financially to just rent a car. Okay, so I just arrived. I'm at the AlUla airport here on a Friday morning, and one thing that I would just note if you are planning on traveling on Friday is that a lot of things are closed for prayers, and so we're having a bit of trouble getting a rental car company because all their systems are down. In order to get an eSIM, I would have to go downtown to get it. So just some things to keep in mind if you do plan on passing through here or landing on a Friday. What I will say as well is that try to book in advance. I mean, like a few days in advance, or even up to a week is what I would recommend, because after a certain amount of days, it actually doesn't let you book a car online, which is what we tried to do like 2 to 3 days before and we weren't able to. So like I said, Our Habitas is about a 1-hour drive from the airport, and this drive was so beautiful. This is when I started to really fall in love with AlUla.
My pictures will not be half as good as yours, I feel like, but
do you want to say hi to the vlog?
Hi! Driving along here.
Thank you for driving, as always.
It's just so beautiful, and another reason why I would recommend that you drive is because you get to stop along the way, take pictures and videos, and really just soak everything in. We stopped so many times on our way to the property, and it was just such a beautiful experience. We even stopped in the old town because it's a bit away from Our Habitas. I think it's about a 30-minute drive, so we decided to stop on our way there and have breakfast at the Pink Camel, which was also really nice and delicious. Finally, we arrived at Our Habitas. I've been waiting to stay here for so long, so it was so exciting. The lobby is beautifully decorated and it's so nice, and there's just such a warm feeling, and we were sat down and we were given fresh hibiscus juice, which is a nice touch. And during that time, a member from the team just walked over to us, checked us in, let us know about the property, some of the rules, some of things to know, like some activities that would be happening that day, just kind of like a brief rundown of what to expect during our stay. Now, I thought we would just be taken to our rooms right away, but actually we ended up having a golf cart tour of the property. So the property does use golf carts to get around because everything is kind of spread out. So that's what we were using to go to our rooms. But before that, one of the staff members did take their time to show us around the place. I really love this because, again, the property is very separated. So like the restaurant is all the way over here, and then like this thing is over here. So it was just nice getting to see where everything was, getting a feel for where we would be staying for a few days, getting to see where all the different art installations are, and I think it was a really nice touch. Now let's get into the beautiful property. So Our Habitas is a desert retreat hotel in AlUla that is absolutely stunning. It has 96 villas, and it's basically just amidst a bunch of sandstone canyons, and it is so beautiful. So I'll get into some of the different parts of the property. First up, we have the swimming pool, which you've probably seen so many beautiful pictures of. If you haven't, here are these videos that don't even do it justice. The pool is set against the backdrop of the area's desert landscape. It has a long infinity edge, and it's also surrounded by a lot of chairs, and there's a poolside lounge for drinks and small snacks. There's Tama Restaurant, which is the on-site dining restaurant that serves meals from the region with locally sourced ingredients. Our Habitas AlUla also has a wellness center where everything wellness takes place here, and it has yoga rooms, a gym that's open 24/7, and massage treatment rooms. There are the art installations that are sprinkled around the property. So this is under a collection that's called Desert X, and these are basically just like large-scale artworks. The property also does a free art tour every day if that's something you're interested in, if you end up staying, where they'll take you around the property in a golf cart to each of the different art installations and explain what they mean and the meaning behind them. So after that beautiful tour, which we greatly enjoyed, it was time to see what the villa was looking like. So Our Habitas has 3 different types of villas. There's the alcove, the canyon, and celestial. So the alcove and canyon, I believe, are the same size for the most part. It's just the view of the canyons are different. And then the celestial is the largest villa that they have, which can sleep 4 people. So this is what the outside of my villa looks like from the entrance. We have the number, and before you reach the door, there's this e-bike. Every property at Our Habitas AlUla comes with the e-bike and the charging station that's in front. And this is also another one of my favorite things because it made getting around the property so much fun, and it was just a very refreshing touch to this day. Once you get inside the villa, you're greeted with warm brown tones with cultural decor. There's a king-size bed, a desk, a chair, and a small couch. The bathroom is also nice with a full-body mirror, an outdoor shower, robes, an indoor shower, and views of more canyons from a very intimate setting. And finally, one of the best parts of the villa to me is the balcony lanai that this door opens up to. I spent some time out here reading and just lounging, and it was also a beautiful experience, and it was just refreshing being able to wake up to that every day. The weather was great around the time that I went, so I was able to be outside without burning up and enjoyed it. While there are other villas next to you, they're not super close, but like you can see that you have neighbors. I will say that it did also still feel like you had like the full backyard area to yourself. And there was one morning where I just went out and I explored the rocks and was just walking around, and it was like a mini little hike, and that was fun. As far as some of the amenities that are offered in the villa, complimentary water is provided and restocked every day when they come to clean during the day, and they also do a sundown service at night, which is nice. There's a mini bar where your fridge is stocked with different beverages, and of course you'll be charged if you choose to drink one, but there are many options to choose from in there. There's a snack station with the same kind of charging system, a tea and a coffee station, bathroom toiletries, a clothing iron if you need it. I know that I always have to iron my clothes, so I was happy to see that. A hair dryer, a safe to lock up any valuable items you might have. There is Wi-Fi that is strong. While I was on vacation, I did unfortunately have a meeting, and I can say that it held up pretty well. And finally, the villas do have AC units, which I'm sure is something we can all appreciate if you understand how hot this region can get. So in my opinion, I will say that I do think the villas are well stocked and well equipped with everything that you would need during your stay. When it comes to the activities on site at Our Habitas AlUla, there are a wide range of things that you can do on the property. These are activities that are mainly designed to kind of help you disconnect, immerse yourself in nature, relax, and just really tap into your wellness. You can join a sunrise yoga class, a meditation class, a sound healing, or even a group exercise class when they're being offered. So my first day, I did do like a candlelit sound healing session for 30 minutes at nighttime, and that was very relaxing, and I think is something that's a great touch. It's actually free and part of the wellness activities that they offer, so that's something that you can do. You can get one of their many spa treatments. They have different massages, different like body wellness and scrubs that you can get into. I did end up unexpectedly booking a 1-hour massage, but I'm so happy that I did because they have these treatment rooms that like outlook one of the canyons, and like the door was open, so it was just the sound of birds chirping while I was getting my massage. And again, just a very relaxing experience, and so I highly recommend getting a spa service. You can go on a walk and explore some of the rock formations and canyons that are on the property. You can ride your e-bike around the property, especially just as the sun is rising, which is what I did one morning, and I was like running into different people around the property, and it was so nice. We were all waving to each other, like the vibes were just nice and right, and so that's something that I think everyone should do if you stay at Our Habitas. Of course, go around to the different art installation properties. Some of them, like I said, are very interactive. So one that I love, my favorite one is called Now You See Me, Now You Don't, which is a trampoline one. So there are different size trampolines that are in this area amidst the canyons, and you can just jump on them, and it was just such a surreal feeling just being in that environment, just jumping freely. It's kind of like an adult playground, and so those are fun, and I think you should go see all of them. During the high season, there are definitely different cultural programs that are available as well, like different musical performances and things like that. But during my stay, there weren't any going on. I'll also say that AlUla has many things to do outside of the property if you're interested on venturing out, which I think you should do and I recommend doing. You can take a guided tour of Hegra, Saudi Arabia's first UNESCO World Heritage Site, or even visit the world's largest mirrored building, the Mariah Concert Hall. So there's so many things to do, and I actually touch on all of these things on my AlUla travel guide, which you can find on my blog, beingchristinajane.com. In that post, I mention everything I did while in AlUla with the prices as well as links so that you can book. Let's talk about dining at Our Habitas AlUla. So Tama Restaurant, again, is the only on-site restaurant that Our Habitas AlUla offers. For starters, breakfast is included with every stay. So when I was there, breakfast was served from 7 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. And basically, whenever you're ready to eat, you just go on to the restaurant and you'll be seated at a table and you'll have a menu to scan. You can look at the menu online, what they offer, but to start, they do give an appetizer of like this breakfast meze that comes with bread, butter, fruits, and veggies, which I thought was very filling and already kind of got me halfway there. And then as a guest, you're allowed to choose from 2 items from that menu. I kind of chose one item with like a side, so I did the avocado toast with salmon and then a side of scrambled eggs. I will say that breakfast was very filling and the serving sizes to me were quite large, and I think it's more than enough. Like I can't even imagine eating another little meal or ordering on top of what I did, and so I was very satisfied. I did get dinner delivered to my room one night because I had a meeting call, so I had to take it in my room, unfortunately. But for this, I ordered like the red catch of the day, which was basically fish with like tomato and peppers and then some wedges. And that came out to about $60-something, but it was really good. So I can say that every single meal that I had from the restaurant was very delicious. There are also these food trucks from one of their neighboring properties that will sometimes come to the main property. So there's those as an option if they happen to be available. When I was staying, they only had the ice cream truck there, so I did get some very delicious mango gelato. So that was also nice for dessert. And speaking of their other property, I did want to briefly touch on their sister property, which is Caravan AlUla by Our Habitas. So this is the sister property, and it's more of a laid-back option if you're looking for one while traveling in AlUla. Instead of villas, as a guest, you can stay in one of the caravans that has your bed, your kitchenette, the bathroom, basically everything that you need to kind of live, and your own terrace area. I don't know if it's for me, but I think I would be willing to do one night, but it is there if you choose to stay there. As far as the customer service at Our Habitas AlUla, I have absolutely no complaints. I think the service was absolutely incredible from every single staff person that I interacted with. It was really great service. Everyone was very helpful and kind. I have to call every single time I need a golf cart to go anywhere, and it was always available for me fairly quickly. Everything was always very quick or delivered within a reasonable amount of time, and so no complaints on the service. If you know anything about hospitality in the Gulf, you know that it's kind of ingrained in the culture, and Saudi has done that well so far from what I've seen. And finally, the part that I know you're waiting for is how much did I pay for my stay? So for a 2-night stay at Our Habitas AlUla, I paid a total of $738.65, which comes out to about $370 a night. Now, when I stayed at this property, it was considered off-season, so this is very, very low compared to what the rates usually are. High seasons for the property are usually around like November to February, when the weather's much cooler and people want to be there. And rates then can go from $1,000 a night to $1,500, I think is the highest that I saw when I was looking through the website. So it definitely can get pricey. I actually was planning to go in February, so I was saving up and I've been waiting to go, so I was willing to pay those rates. But thankfully, last minute, I found out that someone that I knew was also going to AlUla, and I was like, why not just go now? So I ended up booking my flight to AlUla and everything 2 days before it was time for me to go, and everything worked out, thankfully. Would I stay again? I would absolutely say yes, and I'm actually looking into possibly doing a part 2 of AlUla because I loved it so much. What I would say is that if you do choose to visit during the off season, you should prepare yourself for a lot of things to be closed, which is why I think the rates are so low in general. So like a lot of activities that you may want to do off site, like for example, AlUla has this adventure hub where you can do like the zip lining activities, these hikes, a lot of like rock climbing things, and all of that was closed, so we couldn't do any of that like we planned to, unfortunately. But I feel like that's kind of the trade-off for getting such low prices, is not having access to some things that may usually be open. There were restaurants that I wanted to visit that were like closed for the season and undergoing renovations in preparation for the winter season, which again is their more popular season, so I would just keep that in mind. If I'm being honest, I don't feel like visiting during off-season negatively impacted my experience at all, but I kind of do want to see what it's like going at a time where a lot more things are open. Do I think it's worth the price? For $1,000+ a night, I'm gonna be honest and say that I don't know if it's worth it. For the price I paid, I would be willing to pay like $500 or even $600 a night, maybe $700. Maybe even $800, but for $1,000 a night, I think the villas would just have to be even more luxurious and grand to kind of sell that price point. Obviously, the environment is stunning and beautiful, so that is probably why it is $1,000 a night. It really is a beautiful experience overall, but I think the $1,000+ a night price point is a bit steep. With that being said, y'all know I am always willing to pay for an experience, and obviously I was willing to do that because I've been saving up for it, so I would have paid it anyways, and I just would have found out later on what it was. But I mean, it's up to you to decide in the end, but I had a great time and I would definitely go back again. So that is it on my review for Our Habitas AlUla. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Would you stay here? What do you think about the price? What do you think about the deal I got? Would you come during off season? If you have any questions about staying here, let me know down below. I'd be more than happy to help. I have a full review of the property again on my blog, beingchristinajane.com, that you can check out with all the prices, links, and I dive more into detail about everything. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more of my travel experiences, my AlUla guide to come, and I will see you guys in the next one.